Welcome back to Dan's Learning Curve. Yep, well, I did close the hood last night, but the only thing that's changed is the sun's back out. That's a good thing. You can hear the birds chirping, crickets chirping. So, but let me show you where we're at, and if you missed the other previous video, I'll try to put, where am I here? Try to put something up here. See if I can do that. Maybe I can. I don't know. Well, let's get to the video. Okay, this is where I left you last night. Like I said, the only thing that's changed is that it's light outside, and the fan is just sitting up there. I wanted to make sure that I could get it up there without squirming the gasket off and stuff like that. So let me bring it down, and I'll bring it back when I get the gasket on the pan. Just want to make a short clip here that you don't have to go crazy with room temperature vulcanization, which is aka RTV. I had to reuse the end gaskets because I bought the ones with the, well, what is it? It has supposed to have the, here, let me show you. I took a gamble and I chose the one, I should have went out and looked, but I chose the ones with the pegs coming through, and this pan doesn't have that, so I'm reusing these, the rubber part, and they seem pretty pliable, but I am putting a bit of RTV on it. I really like the gray stuff because it really bonds well, so I will be putting it on those two parts also, the side gaskets, and I'll bring you back. All right, there we have it. I have the end gaskets put in. They're bonded with RTV, and then the side cork gaskets have been had RTV put on underneath them, so that'll seal it up there. And you know, this gasket wasn't leaking. This old one wasn't leaking. It was bonded really well. So I was happy how it ended up. Used the blue stuff when I was 15. I like the gray stuff better. But this wasn't leaking, so it's good. All right, I'll bring you back when it's got a couple bolts in the holding it on the underneath the engine. Well, that was a game of Tetris. I guess I should have jacked up taken the cross mount off the transmission back there and jacked the tail section up too, because there was one place that pan fit through this front cross member and the rear bell housing. One place. I got it through, ended up taking the side gaskets off and resealing them because they just squirmed right off. So much for my dry fit, huh? Well, I got a couple bolts in there. Almost forgot about you guys. So got a couple bolts started, and now it's just a matter of getting them all in there and tightening them up. Oh, should add something here. There was a, right here, focus, there was a fitting that my dad put in there for an engine heater, block heater, and since this vehicle will no longer see snow winter conditions, that was removed, and I just put a plug in there instead. So now we don't have the hose hanging out by the water pump with a bolt in it. All right, bring you back when this thing's bolted up. All right, we're kind of close quarters here, but all the bolts have been tightened. That oil pan is on. I was gonna show you guys something, but I forgot about it. This dip here in the oil pan, apparently it either had a rust hole through it or my dad wanted to fill it, so there wasn't any oil left in the bottom of the oil pan here. I'm not sure which one. And I noticed that looks like this oil focus. Looks like this oil pan has been modified. Looks like to fit the cross member here. I'm not sure what went on. So maybe that's why the oil pan's so tight in here. So Anyway, the oil pan's on. Next will be, let's see here. I'm not sure if the starter or the Y pipe. Probably the starter, so I can put some oil in it and then turn the engine over and see if we pump oil. And then, of course, then I'll drop the oil filter and put a new filter in there. So, all right, bring it back. Okay, we have oil in the crankcase. We have a new filter installed. All right, the distributor cap is off. The ignition is not on, so there's no chance of it starting. Now, let's see here. Just look beyond that, on the other side of that distributor. Hopefully we get a geyser here pretty soon. It's going to take a few cranks to fill the oil filter canister, and hopefully we get a geyser out of the oil pressure sending in hole. So here she goes. Going to be a little loud here. Well, nothing so far. I don't like that. All right, I'm going to shut you off and see what's going on here. Well, there's a good reason why it didn't spray out if there's oil pressure. You can see, let me see if I can get my finger pointing right. Okay, at the end of this tube right here, there's a black thing with a shiny base. That's the oil pressure unit for the light. I installed it and left it installed. Okay, so it would not shoot out. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna get you inside and let's turn the engine over from the key and let's see if the oil light goes out. All right, we're inside. Okay, so this is the oil light right here, and this is the oil pressure gauge right there. All right, oil light's on. Oil pressure gauge is 0. So let's see what it does here. I don't know if I've got any or not. Okay, well, I'll shut you off and see what we can do here. Okay, I don't know if the starter was turning over fast enough to shoot oil. Maybe that was my first initial problem. Farmer over there's got someone working on his stuff, so it's gonna be some noise. But I'm gonna crank this thing up. I got the distributor cap back on, coil wire plugged in, all that stuff. So here it goes. Hopefully we get some oil pressure right away. Well, I'm going to take a break.